Hello, everyone. Today I have a powerful and inspiring story for you. It's not only great for your listening practice, but also a reminder that nothing in life comes without effort. The story is called Nothing is Free. It's about a young man who learns that dreams only come true when you're ready to work for them. There once lived a young man named Leo, 20 years old, in a quiet little town surrounded by mountains. Leo was full of dreams. He wanted to become a successful entrepreneur and one day own a chain of restaurants. But life for his family was far from easy. His father, Mark, worked long hours as a mechanic, and his mother, Claire, cleaned houses to keep food on the table. His little sister Sophie, only 10, looked up to him like a hero. One cold evening, Leo sat outside his small home, looking up at the stars. He whispered softly to himself, "I want to give my family a better life, but how can I start when we barely have enough to survive?" The next day, he shared his thoughts with his father. Mark sighed and said, "Leo, dreams aren't free. If you truly want something, you must fight for it. Start small, start with what you have." Leo kept thinking about those words. Later that week, he noticed something. People in his town loved fresh bread, but the nearest bakery was miles away. Everyone had to travel just to get it. That gave him an idea. What if I sell fresh bread here in town? He thought. But then reality hit him. He didn't have any money to buy the bread in the first place. Still, Leo didn't want to give up. He decided to take a chance and walked several miles to meet the bakery owner, a strict old man named Mr. Anderson. Standing in front of him nervously but with determination in his eyes, Leo said, "Sir, I want to sell your bread in my town. I don't have money to pay in advance, but if you trust me for 1 week, I'll sell your bread, return your money, and keep only a small profit." Mr. Anderson looked at him suspiciously. "And why should I trust a boy I don't even know?" Leo replied firmly, "Because I'm determined, and I'll prove myself through hard work." The old man stared at him for a while, then said, "All right, I'll give you bread for 1 week. But if you fail to pay me back, don't come here again." Leo's face lit up with joy. Early the next morning, he carried baskets of bread back to his town and set up a small stand near the park. He greeted everyone with a big smile, calling out, "Fresh bread, warm and delicious." At first, people were unsure. They didn't know if the bread was any good. But Leo offered free samples, and soon his first few customers appeared. By the end of the day, he had sold every single loaf. That evening, he returned to Mr. Anderson and handed him the full payment. The old man nodded slightly and said, "You kept your word. Come back tomorrow." From that day, Leo worked tirelessly. He woke up at 4 in the morning, walked miles to the bakery, carried heavy baskets of bread, and sold them with passion. After 2 months of hard work, he saved enough money to buy a small cart, which made his job a little easier. One day, a kind customer said, "Leo, you're great at selling, but if you learned to bake your own bread, you'd make more profit." The idea excited Leo and scared him. He had never baked in his life. But deep down, he knew that to grow, he had to learn something new. That was the moment he truly understood that nothing in life is free. Not success, not knowledge, not progress. Everything must be earned. The next morning, he gathered his courage and asked Mr. Anderson, "Sir, will you please teach me how to bake?" The old man frowned. "Why should I teach you? If you bake your own bread, you won't need mine anymore." Leo smiled politely and said, "You're right, but I'll never forget the person who gave me my first chance. If I succeed, I'll make sure your bakery benefits too." Mr. Anderson thought for a while, then finally said, "All right, I'll teach you, but remember, baking is not easy. It takes time, patience, and effort." The lessons began before dawn. At 3 in the morning, Leo arrived at the bakery, sleepy but eager. Mr. Anderson showed him how to mix flour, knead the dough, and bake it perfectly. At first, nothing went right. His hands hurt from kneading, and his loaves were either too hard or too soft. One morning, after burning another batch, Leo sat on a bench, exhausted and hopeless. "Maybe I'm not good enough for this," he muttered. "Maybe I should quit." Then he remembered his father's words. Dreams aren't free. Giving up was not an option. He returned the next day and practiced even harder. Slowly, his bread began to improve. After a few weeks, Mr. Anderson smiled and handed him a loaf. "Perfect," he said. "You're ready." Leo was thrilled. He rented a small oven and started baking at home. His family supported him wholeheartedly. Sophie helped him pack the bread. His mother made tea to keep him going, and his father helped fix his equipment. Soon, Leo wasn't just selling bread. He began making cookies and pastries too. People loved his products. They said, "Leo's bread tastes better than anything we've had before." But life wasn't done testing him. 1 month later, a new bakery opened in town. The owner, a young man named Eric, had a big, colorful shop with fancy signs and decorations. People got curious and started buying from him instead. Leo's sales dropped sharply. For a moment, fear crept in. "What if I lose everything I worked for?" he thought. But instead of complaining, Leo decided to improve. He spoke to his customers and asked, "What do you like about Eric's bakery? What can I do better?" Some said his shop looked cleaner and brighter. Others said his cakes had beautiful designs. So Leo took action. He painted his cart, added bright decorations, learned cake decoration from books in the library, and began offering free samples again. Slowly, people started coming back. One evening, an elderly woman said, "I've seen many young men give up when things get hard, but you didn't. That's why we trust you." Months later, Leo's hard work paid off. He saved enough to rent a small shop. It wasn't as big as Eric's, but it was warm, simple, and full of love. He named it *Leo's Fresh Bakes. Every morning he woke up before sunrise, baked fresh bread, and opened his shop with a smile. His parents and sister helped him run it. For the first time, Leo felt like his dream was becoming real. But one stormy night, disaster struck. As Leo was closing the shop, he smelled smoke. Rushing inside, he saw a small fire near the oven. He quickly grabbed water and put it out, but much of his equipment was ruined. The next morning, people in the town gathered outside his burnt bakery. Some whispered, "Oh no, poor Leo," while others said, "Maybe this is the end for him." Leo stood in front of his damaged shop, heartbroken but not defeated. "This is just another challenge," he said quietly. "I've started with nothing before. I can do it again." He checked his savings, but the money wasn't enough to repair everything. For a moment, fear returned. But then he remembered how far he had come. He went to meet Mr. Anderson, who had retired by then, and asked, "Sir, what would you do if you were in my place?" Mr. Anderson smiled gently and said, "Leo, you already know the answer. Nothing is free. Work hard, believe in yourself, and people will believe in you too." Inspired, Leo got back to work. He didn't wait for help. He started baking at home again using whatever equipment he had left. He told his customers, "I won't give up. I'll keep baking for you, even if it's a small amount for now." The townspeople were moved by his determination. Many started helping him. Some donated ingredients, others offered money, and a few helped him clean and repair his bakery. That's when Leo realized something beautiful. When you help yourself, others will help you too. After months of effort, Leo's bakery reopened, brighter, better, and stronger than ever. He painted the walls, added new decorations, and even introduced cupcakes and muffins. On the day of the grand reopening, the mayor himself came and said, "Leo, you're an inspiration to everyone in this town. You've proved that with determination, anything is possible." Standing before the crowd, Leo smiled and said, "I want to thank all of you. I've learned something important in this journey. Nothing in life is free. Not success, not respect, not love. Everything must be earned with hard work, patience, and persistence. Never give up, because every challenge is just a step towards something greater." From that day on, Leo's Fresh Bakes wasn't just a bakery, it became a symbol of hope. People from nearby towns came not only for his bread but to meet the young man who refused to quit. Leo's story teaches us that dreams are not free. They demand effort and sacrifice. Failure is not the end. It's a lesson that makes you stronger. If you help yourself, others will believe in you and stand by your side. And above all, never give up, because the darkest moments often come just before success. Leo didn't just build a bakery. He built a life filled with purpose, respect, and pride. And you can too. Whatever your dream is, don't stop chasing it. Because remember, nothing is free, but everything is possible.